I'd like to welcome in entrepreneur and investor Ramon Van Meer, based in Austin, Texas. Ramon, great to see you. This is really surprising. First of all, just what made you want to test out if people are willing to put their money where their mouth is?
Yeah, because like many other small businesses, I was and am still affected by the tariff increases. And then especially when it was increased by 50% in April, I was wondering if I really am forced to find a solution here in the United States, are people willing to pay that extra premium in order for me to even have a business? And so I wanted to test that out.
And so we saw the results there. Overall, what is your takeaway?
I was not surprised and surprised. And the reason is when it comes down to, I do believe shoppers love good deals. They love to pay as little as possible. But I was not expecting that zero people would opt in for the made in the USA version.
Ramon, I have to say, I was surprised by that. 0%.
Yes.
So we always hear people say they are willing to pay more for items that are made here in the USA. Your company makes these specialty shower heads. In your experiment, 0% of the people opted for that one. How much of your American made inventory sells just in general?
Well, nothing. And the big problem too, the reason why it's also so much more expensive is because we currently don't have factories that make these specialty shower heads. So that's why it's what is causing the price difference to be so high. And now that I tested it and see that very few or no people are willing to pay for that, there's no option for me to even find a solution here in the United States.
Yeah, it's really putting a lot of business owners in a tough bind. So, Ramon, we are seeing this thawing in the trade war with China, at least for the next 90 days. What type of impact do you think that's going to have on your business specifically? And then as we zoom out just on commerce here in the US more broadly?
Yes, it has a lot of impact. Outside of the uncertainty, yes, now there is a temporarily decrease in tariffs for the next 90 days. But us as a small business owner, I cannot plan further than 90 days because we don't know what's going to happen after 90 days. So for us, all our hiring is frozen. So I have a hiring freeze, new production or new products. I'm putting it on pause, and I'm really trying to solve this problem of finding supply chain outside of China, and figuring all that out. So it has definitely have an impact on us.
Absolutely. So, when we look at why it's done, I mean, pretty much every business that does choose to manufacture overseas or, at least uses foreign made parts, they do it because of price. Everything always comes down to money. There is a practicality to trade. We know that the president wants to ramp up this American manufacturing boom. What do you think this shakeup by President Trump, how will it impact the U.S., do you think, in 5 to 10 years? I mean, I know you can't really plan even 90 days out. What do you think
Yeah.
long term this is going to do?
Well, I'm not opposed on like looking into if some products could be made in the United States. The problem is that we don't really have the infrastructure, especially for specialty products like myself. If I really wanted to make a filtered shower head here in the United States, I would have to deal and work with four different factories because there's not one that makes these specialty shower heads. And with that, the cost increases a lot, and of course also it's a big hassle and a lot of work on our end as well. Versus other countries, they have that infrastructure. So I think if we really want to quote unquote bring back manufacturing jobs, I think it has to happen from the top down, policies, incentives, access to capital, because it costs a lot of money to open the manufacturing. It takes years to do as well. So I was of course very affected because it was very sudden, a very quick rollout, and we didn't even have time to pivot or find other solutions.
All right, my last question for you, Ramon. We started with the experiment that you conducted. I want to end with the experiment that you conducted. What is your message to American consumers, keeping in mind that no one bought your more expensive American made and touted as being made in the USA? No one bought that.
Yes, and to be honest, because the price difference was significant, I don't blame them either. And I also think a lot of consumers understand that just because it's made in a different country doesn't mean it's less quality. And at the end of the day, I think if we all know it's the same product, same quality, we're going to opt in for what is more cost efficient for us. So I don't blame them.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.